So the wire that's coming out of your MIG torch is the electrode. So what we want is this wire to be negative. Pete, how the hell are we supposed to change this? This is wired into the machine. Okay, so you've brought yourself a Flux-Core welder. And I meant to say, why the hell wouldn't you? At 149 bucks, hell, we can all afford to have one of these things in our workshop these days. So now you've actually turned the bloody thing on, and then all of a sudden you bloody realise you've been staring at the thing for 10 minutes, and you have absolutely no idea what the buttons or the knob does. Hey, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm no bloody expert, I'm just some dude in his shed trying to stick some shit together. Now, a few months ago, I was talking to my brother, and he's a really good arc welder, he's a really good stick welder. He welds up all sorts of shit, like trailers and gates. Hell, he even welded up half of a house bus once. So I said to him, mate, you should try one of these little Flux-Core MIG welders. You do a lot of arc welding, so this has got to be a piece of piss for you to use. I said to him, you don't even need a gas bottle, just plug the bugger in and you're welding. So a couple of days later, I shot round there to see how he was getting on, you know. I thought he's gonna love me. He's cursing and swearing, he's got wire tangled up round his feet, can't get the thing to arc, can't even stick anything together with it. Picks up the welder, throws it in one corner, grabs his old arc welder machine and starts using that. So I've learned a couple of things over the years using Flux-Core welders, so I thought I'd just give you a couple of handy hints so you don't all get pissed off and throw the thing in the corner and say that welding's a waste of fucking time. The first thing you're going to want to do is load the wire. Now, a lot of these machines, I know this one did, comes with 2 rolls of wire. Because the machine can use wire that you need gas for and Flux-Core wire, they give you 2 rolls because they don't know which one you're going to use, obviously. So don't make the same bloody mistake I did. I put the wrong wire in the welder to start off with. And then I wondered why it all turned to shit. So your Flux-Core wire is almost certainly a silvery colour, whereas the one that you need shielded gas for is like a coppery colour. What sort of moron puts the wrong wire in their machine? Right, time to load the wire. My coil of wire here, I've already used some of it. Check which way it's trying to come off the roll, and also hold it, because if you don't hold it, it'll go bing and it'll all spring out and you'll end up with it all around your legs and you'll be awfully pissed off. Don't load it like this. See that? And then try and pull it back into there. All you end up doing is end up with one big bird's nest of wire. So put it on like that, and we go this way. Wants to pull the same direction. We're not trying to pull against ourselves. Now this is the tricky bit, guys. You got to keep hold of this. Ah, shit. See what I mean? See how that went bing and sprung back? Now if that's a full coil of wire, you're going to lose half of it. So what you got to do is, where did that go? That friggin' thing fell on the floor. See, the tightener even fell on the floor. And I'm supposed to know what the fucking hell I'm doing. So we got the tightener, put it on there while you're still holding it. These machines have different sorts of tighteners. Some of them are like this, some of them have just got a little wheel on the top. You know, just do it so it's tight enough. Just screw it up until it's tight, so when you let it go, it doesn't go BOOM. So now we can work on the wire without it pissing off. Grab some side cutters. Cut all the bent bit of the wire off. If you had some sharp side cutters, that might help. Now feed that into here. You might have to give it a hand to get it in there. Right, now we've got 2 drive rollers. We've got one here and one here. Right, so now what we want to do is push that wire through the drive rollers. You see that there? We've got a 0.8 drive roller here. See that? That's 0.8. So what happens is the drive rollers basically have to match your wire. Otherwise, when you go to tighten them up, it'll either be too loose or it'll be too tight. And then tighten it up, bing, you get another bloody bird's nest. That's what my brother found out, I think. Alright, so feed it through here, goes through the grooves, and there's a hole right here, just push it through. That's why I said it's got to be That's why I cut the end off so it's straight, so it doesn't give you any shit. Here, let me try and do it with a screwdriver to get it in there. Shouldn't be that hard, Pete, come on. Alright, so that's in the little hole up the front there. What you need to do is move this wheel over, that one down, and just tighten it up a little bit. You don't want it too tight because it'll break in here. Most of these machines have a test button. When you push the button, make sure there's no jam ups or anything and the wire's not slipping. If your machine doesn't have a test button, you'll have to use the trigger on your torch. What I normally do, after we've got the wire set up, what I normally do is just take the shield off like so, pull the trigger, and wait for the wire to come out. You can feel it coming through the gun, and you can also hear it starting to slow down. And if you feel it hit anything when it's coming up inside the torch, release the trigger straight away. Otherwise you're going to get a big friggin' bird's nest in here. And if you feel it starting to slow down or jam up inside your torch, take the tip off. Just unscrew the tip. What you'll find is the wire is not centered in the bloody tip and it's hitting the side of it. You keep pulling the trigger, it'll snap your wire and make a huge friggin' bird's nest. Which, come to think of it, that's what I think my brother must have done. See that? And then grab your contact tip and actually slide it over the wire. Yeehaw! Now, before we can actually start melting some shit together, we have to set the welding polarity. Now, you're saying to yourself, Pete, what the fuck is welding polarity? And I didn't know either when I first started. All it is a big flash friggin' word for which way around your bloody leads go. Now, Flux-Core wire runs on DC negative. Now, you're saying to yourself, Pete, you're getting too friggin' complicated. So easy, guys, so easy. So the wire that's coming out of your MIG torch is the electrode. So what we want is this wire to be negative. So I can almost hear you guys saying, Pete, how the hell are we supposed to change this? This is wired into the machine. And on these little machines, you can't change where the lead plugs in. But really, guys, we're not changing where this plugs in. What we're doing is changing this from a negative to a positive or a positive to a negative. So this lead that's hanging out of the middle of the machine here is connected to the wire coming out of your welding torch. So to get our electrode negative, we take this plug and we plug it in the minus side. Minus for negative, of course. So now, this wire here, connected through here, is going on to the negative side. And then we take your earth lead here, plug it into the plus side. A lot of newbies make this mistake and you wouldn't think it would make that much difference. But unless you get these the right way around, and it'll sound like you got a bucket over some fireworks and it's popping and spitting and farting. You won't be able to stick anything together with it and you end up throwing it in the friggin' corner and saying it's a piece of junk. Some of these welders even come from the bloody factory with their leads set the wrong way around. Who knows, maybe they just do it for a laugh. So make sure yours is the right way around first before you start blaming the machine or the wire or even blaming your missus. Now, with a lot of these cheaper beginner welders, they have what's called a synergetic control. Now that's just a fancy way of saying, well, that one knob does everything. What we need to do now is put the size of the wire that we've just installed in the machine. So we've got 1 mil, which is about 0.040 inches, I think, when I went to American school. We need to set the machine from gas to gasless wire, like so, and we need to make sure what welding we want. Do we want arc, TIG or MIG? So we want MIG. Did you notice that every time I change the setting, like going from small wire to heavier wire, the numbers on the front screen change? So what's happening there is they're trying to give newbie welders the best possible chance of getting a weld straight out of the box. If you know 2/5 of FA about welding. So basically, you've already set up the machine to start welding. You might just need to tweak it a little bit once you get the feel of it. But to get going, just try using the basic of the basic settings. So instead of having 3 different things you've got to set, you do it all with one knob. And it's a lot easier when you first start to learn to weld. You might not be able to get it exactly how you want it to start off with, but it's a really, really good way to learn. So let's see with those basic settings if we can actually weld this hammer back together. What do you reckon? First thing I do is to remove the bloody shield, especially if you're welding inside, because this wire is already shielded, because we're not using gas. Not only that, guys, if you take this bloody thing off, you can actually see the wire coming out of the end of your torch, which gives you an idea how much stick out you've got. So I reckon you've got to have about yo much stick out, about that much. Next thing, make sure what you're trying to stick together is cleaned up with the grinder. I used to be a bugger for just grabbing hunks of rusty steel and try and fucking stick them together, and the thing would fall apart, and then I'd get awfully pissed off. But you know, sooner or later, even Pete learns that if you clean the frickin' thing up, you got a much better chance of gluing the shit together. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go on the other side. Yeehaw! I think I'll turn the welder down a little bit. It's a bit hot. Clean it up a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect. I didn't say I was a welder or anything like that. I'm just sticking shit together in my shed. That's without altering the settings on the machine. So if you've never welded before and you're just looking to weld up some shit in your garage, you know, stick some shit together, I've just proved that any friggin' idiot can do it. Might not look pretty, but it sticks to fucking together. I mean, like for 149 bucks, how the hell could you go wrong? Let's test this bugger out. Well, if you're still watching me at this stage, guys, you can't have much better to friggin' do. Anyway, same as usual, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe or like or whatever the hell you do. There'll be a link somewhere in this description if you want to buy yourself one of these little babies. And then you too can suck at welding like Pete. Yeehaw! Also, guys, I'm putting together a new Pete's Tools website where we can do all sorts of crap together, and it'll be all sorts of fun. And yeah, we might even get together and have a few beers, eh? See you next time.